Hello and welcome to the Fiber Tales podcast. My name is Lærke and I'm coming to you from the southern part of Fyn in Denmark, where I live with my partner, my little girl, and soon there will be another little member of the family. I have some fluff on my cheek. This is a knitting podcast. I actually just recorded an episode, which will probably be the last episode of the year. But I decided to split it up in two because it was already long enough, and I wanted to make a episode dedicated to my Make 9. As I ended saying in the other podcast, I keep pointing that way because the previous podcast, is that I'm not expecting the Make 9 to be something that I will follow religiously. It's pretty much for me a way to what is inspiring me, show what is inspiring me. Some of them I'm sure I will knit, some of them I already started knitting, but I also know that I will work on designs because I cannot help it, and that means a lot of the time will be used for design knitting. And I know that I have this one happening soon, and that means I won't have knitting time in the same way as I've had this last year. Also, I will want to knit some baby knits. I haven't really done many, but I'm sure I will make more baby knits as I need them. So just to say that this Make 9 is more of an inspiration and some dream knitting, and maybe some of them will happen and some of them probably will turn into other projects, and some of them will simply never happen, and that's fine with me. If you don't know what is Make 9, it's a challenge, or a challenge that people do on Instagram, but also other places. It's not only for knitting, it's for sewing, it's for all kind of crafts, and you just make a collection of 9 items that you wish to make in the new year. So for 2019, I have 9 projects, and one of them is a sewing project, and the rest I think are knitting. And then in the end I would also like to talk about other things I would like to make. And again, I know this is probably really utopic and never gonna happen, but it's okay to dream and have ideas. And right now I feel so inspired to do new crafts and to do many new things, so that's that. I will show you here a picture of my Make 9. You can see it on Instagram as well, and then I will try to go through them. So the first Make 9 is, or the first one I put in the collage is the Hollow Shawl by Melody Hoffman, and I really wanted to make this for a long time, and I have the pattern, so the only thing is to find the right yarn, and I haven't found it or haven't come across anything, so that one probably won't happen anytime soon, also because I'm working on 2 shawl designs. But if I find the perfect yarn, I would love to cast that on. I really like the simplicity, I like the organic lines of that design, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So in this very simple way. So I think it will happen at some point. The question is just when. And it would be very good baby knitting, for example, because it's seems very mindless and easy. I might be wrong. And I just love Melody Hoffman, or B Mandarins as she's also known as, and it will be very lovely to work on to knit on one of her designs. Number 2 is the Nordiska jumper or sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and it's just for me the perfect match of yarn, and the yarn is by Yama. Oh god, Yama. I don't. I will put it here. I'm so sorry. I followed this account for some time and I really love it. She makes beautiful yarn. She's from South Africa, and for some reason it's Yama, but I don't remember Fiber Studio Art. Oh god, it's totally blanking, and it happens every time because I know how it looks, but I never say it out loud, and when I have to say it out loud it just disappears. Yes, but it's a new design by Caitlin Hunter. The pattern just came out. I haven't bought it yet, and I have to do because she has a discount until the end of the year, I think. so I have to go and buy the pattern before. But it just has color work on the bottom of the sleeves. It's 3/4 length sleeves, I think. So color work here and on the bottom. And one of the reasons why I haven't just cast it on immediately is because it is really not fitted for my body shape at the moment. And it's also like a spring, late summer kind of garment for where I live for this climate. So I think I will cast it on maybe in the spring or the late summer, and I will have to find the perfect yarn. I prefer non-superwash, so I will have to look for something maybe hand-dyed, non-superwash, or something else. So that's what I'm thinking about for that one, and I think it's beautiful. The only thing, as I mentioned in my Instagram post, is the V-neck. I don't know, something about it, it doesn't call my attention. It's a thick V-neck, but I think from what I could see how the pattern is constructed, I can just make the V-neck or make some other shape, like a round shape, and then decide afterwards, because you kind of pick up the border and knit it, I think. So I will see when I get to that. It's not a big deal for me, or maybe it will grow on me. I just have to, I don't know if I like it for my body shape and the stuff I normally wear, so that's what I have to think about. But it's a beautiful pattern, very well done. I normally like Caitlin Hunter's patterns, but they can be a little too much for my aesthetic and my style, and I just love that the color work is only on the ends. It's the detail instead of being the main focus. So I've knit one of her sweaters before. I knit the Burgin sweater, which I didn't really love in the construction because of the color work construction. I talk about that in some of the older episodes, but I think this one is constructed differently. So I mean, it is constructed differently because it's a raglan, but I think she's also evolved as a designer, and I'm not so afraid that there will be problems with the construction or the fit of the construction for this one. So yeah, that's one of my plans. Then number 3 is, I don't have them in the right order. This is my, by the way, my beautiful bullet journal that I just started, which is from Dingbats. It's a vegan leather, or just a fake leather with a little bear on the outside, and I also talked about that in my Vlogmas, because why not? I talked about all the things that I normally wouldn't talk so much about on a podcast, but my list is here and it's not in the right order, so I have to try to remember which order I put them in the collage, so it makes a little more sense. So number 3 is also a Melody Hoffman pattern. It's the fur socks, and I just think they're beautiful. I love them very much. I made her first shawl, which has the same design element, and I use that a lot, and I would like to make the socks, so I think those will happen sometime in the next year. I have the pattern, so why not? It will happen, I hope. And also I really like to follow someone else's patterns once in a while, because normally my socks are vanilla socks, or just I just figure them out as I go, but I think it's nice to follow a pattern sometimes. It just takes away the thinking. Yes, and then we are on to pattern number 4, which is this one that I showed you before. I will just talk about it again, because in case you don't watch my podcast and just want to watch this video, I prefer everything to be in the video, but I will try to be brief, and if you have watched it, try to skip ahead a bit. This is my head, it's not my pattern, but it's the hedge witch shawl. I don't know, really hard to say some of the words in English. By Nat, I don't remember the last name right now, but she's Wool and Fawn on Instagram, and she designed this beautiful shawl pattern with this lovely texture on the outside, on the right side, and just on the wrong side there's not much, but actually you knit this texture on the wrong side, which is very nice, because then you have something to do on the wrong side instead of just purling. And it is working from the top, so you cast on here where I have my little end with a garter tab without revealing too much is a common shawl construction, and you just increase in the center and on the sides, and you have this pattern all over, and then in the end you're gonna do some garter stitch to make the edge. And yes, this I am knitting. So this is the only one where I cheated a bit, because I know it's from my Make 9, but I don't expect to finish this in this year, so I think it's okay to cheat a little bit. This is part of a KAL, which is the Hedge Witch KAL, hosted by two wonderful ladies, Nicole from the Gentle Knitter podcast and Sarah from Fiber Trek, and they have decided to do this KAL for a whole month, from full moon to full moon, so from the cold moon in December to the wolf moon in January. And it's just so much fun to knit together with others. I haven't really participated in a lot of KALs, at least not KALs that I didn't bring up because of my own design, so for this podcast. And I am knitting this also to try out my own yarn, which is the Gotland yarn. It's an organic 2-ply yarn that I had spun at a local mill from my parents' sheep wool, or wool from my parents' sheep, and it is just so much fun to see how it knits up. I worked with this yarn before, but not this particular batch, which I created the colorway together with the owner of the mill, or the owner. It's a family-owned business, but so yeah, I really love the colors. I think they show pretty well in the light. I have the window here, so and I will add I'll use the charcoal gray that was the other colorway I had made for the border. I think it will be a very cozy and warm shawl, and definitely something I can wear as an outer layer. So yes, this is the only one, as I said, where I'm cheating a bit, but I don't think it will be finished. First of all, I don't think it will be finished in a month, and second of all, it will be finished in 2019 without problems. These kind of challenges should be fun. The same with the Vlogmas that I just did. I didn't finish it or do it every day completely, but I just did it in the way that I thought was nice. And I think with these kind of internet challenges and stuff, don't overcomplicate things, because you're just gonna end up hating it, and then what's the point, right? So then for item number 5, I have a sweater which I haven't seen yet, actually, completely. It's I've seen only the sneak peeks that Line magazine, or Line, has put out on their Instagram. Actually, I will have a design featured in Line, the next issue 7, and I'm not gonna reknit that one, I don't think, at least not right now, but I really want to knit one of the other designs that I've seen only the sneak peek of, which is by Kiyomi. I will put the name here on the screen, and I haven't seen anything else, but it has this kind of lace or eyelet pattern. It's a sweater, and it just looks so beautiful. So I'm really excited to see what it's gonna look like. And if it's not for me, if I discover that it has some things that are not speaking to me, I'm pretty sure there will be something else in the next issue. So I'm expecting to cast on something from the next issue of Line in the next year. But for now, that's the one. And I don't know the name of the garment, so unnamed sweater from Line issue 7 is my plan for item number 5, or just any item from that magazine, because I've seen a few sneak peeks and it looks like it's gonna be beautiful. And then for number 6 is one project that I talked about before, and it's the Nurtured sweater from Andrea Maury. And I talked about it because I have some yarns that I've been thinking to use, but I think what I will do is I will cast on using this beautiful, I don't know what the color is, taupey, purpley, browny gray has this purple color to it, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's a Dovestone DK, which has been discontinued. I bought this at EYF. It's by Baramu, and I know they have a new base that is the Winterburn, I think, which has more or less the same, is similar. It's not the same. And this one is a blend of Blueface Leicester, Wensleydale, and dark brown Massam. And I just think it's absolutely delicious. So I've been thinking what to knit with it, and I think it will be the Nurtured by Andrea Maury. Or unless something else pops up, that could happen. But right now that's what's on my mind. I think it will be beautiful for that pattern. I will put pictures of the patterns as I speak. So and again, it's a pattern that is not really flattering for my figure at the moment, and probably not for the next couple of months until my stomach goes back to normal. But I am really hoping I can do that one in this beautiful. I have a few more skeins. I think I have 3 or 4 maybe skeins. It's a DK weight. I think it will be perfect. So that's my plan for this one, unless something else, because it has been planned for different things. First it was the Syria cardigan, which I don't think it works with the gauge, or maybe it does. So, but it has been planned to be a Syria. Now it's gonna be the Nurtured, and let's see what it ends up being. But I really love this color, which is very hard to describe. So it has a bit of sheen also. I think it's the Wensleydale that gives it this sheen, a little bit similar to the Gotland, that also has a bit of a sheen to it. So I think these are very beautiful for textured patterns, because they kind of, the light bounces off the wool, or the texture. So that's my plan for number 6. Was it 6? Yes. And then I have the first one that is not a knitting project, and I have it down here, so let's see if I can pull it out. I'm just gonna put a picture. That's probably also better to see. It's the Hinterland dress by So Liberated, and I actually have bought fabric for it, two fabrics, and I thought to make them in the fall, but this didn't happen. I was busy. And right now I'm not gonna start sewing a dress that's gonna fit me so differently in a few months' time, but I think it will be perfect for breastfeeding. So I would really like to make it, but I'm probably not gonna, because sewing just for me takes a lot of time. I have to prepare everything, set everything up, and then sew, and yeah, I don't know how it's gonna happen. But the Hinterland dress is so beautiful. I have the pattern, I have the fabric. It's just about finding the moment to sit down and do it. Maybe if the baby is not coming soon, I will try to work on it, excuse me, while in the last days or something, just to, if I get too impatient. I also have something else I have to sew for him. I have to sew him one of those baby nests, which I also have fabric for. So I think probably no Hinterland dress happening anytime soon, but maybe for next fall, if I should be realistic, or sometime in the spring. It's a beautiful dress, and I'm looking very much forward to making it. Yeah, so we're getting through. Number 8 is the Lillebrors or Little Brothers romper. It's a pattern by Petite Knits, and it's a pattern I showed it in my podcast. I haven't made any progress because that was half an hour ago. But here you can see the 2 parts, and it's looking rather terrible with all the ends. I will explain. But it's a pattern that comes both in for worsted weight and I think fingering. And for fingering it's called Little Sisters romper, and Little Brothers romper is the worsted weight version. And I'm knitting this one up using a yarn that is a recycled yarn, and it's recycled or reclaimed from an old jumper of my mom's. It's a wool silk blend, but there's no other things in there. It's a really nice yarn, and it is you can see it here. this khaki color, but it has specks, and it's actually perfect for babies because it has blue and pink specks and yellow. So I think it works for any gender, anything. I just really like to try to keep things gender neutral, or that they can work for both. Oh, no software update right now. Okay. So it can work for both genders. Yes, so I'm just, the only thing is this jumper that I reclaimed the yarn from was striped, and that means I have a lot of ends to weave in at the end, because all the pieces of yarn are only a certain length, and then, so you can see they're sticking out. But I think it's still worth it to reclaim this yarn. I'm planning to also knit this romper in a, how's it called? Knit Picks tweed? City tweed? Something like that. Which I bought from a de-stash from Julie from Sweet Sparrow Yarns. Hi Julie, if you're watching. And she had a de-stash, and I bought a huge amount because she had planned some kind of long ropey cardigan, and I don't think I will make such a big cardigan, so I think I have a few skeins left for other projects. It's in this beautiful burgundy red, wine red tweed, and I think it would be perfect to make this one as well. So I will make a few sizes. This one is the smallest, and I will make more sizes, so it's definitely going to be a make I do more than once, I think, in the new year. So no, I don't feel guilty having started already or anything. For this challenge, I think I will make it again in different sizes. It seems to be a very simple and easy knit. I am doing a few modifications already because I cannot help myself. I changed the buttonhole, was kind of the way she had written it. One would be a little more to the side than the other, so I just, instead of doing knit two together on both sides, I did an SSK on one side. That's a really minor thing, but I just couldn't help myself. And also I'm doing the increases opposite, so I'm not doing a make left. It's make one left on one side, make one right on the other, and I'm doing it opposite because I just like better how that looks, which is, again, it doesn't, it's just a matter of preference or taste, or how I like it to look. I mean, the other one looks fine, it's just looks a little bit different. And I think that's it. I think the rest will be according to pattern. Oh, I'm sitting on a little stool and it's not too comfortable. Oh. But also in that place in the Make 9, baby knits, the little brother's romper is just symbolizing all the baby knits I want to do. I still really like to make, not selfish knitting, but you know, like grown-up adult knitting. But yeah, I think I will. The baby knits normally hit me when I have the baby in my hands. I haven't made so many things beforehand, but I also had a lot of leftover from my daughter that was pretty neutral and I can use again for a little boy. So no problem there. That was number 8. And then I have the last one, which is number 9, of course. And that is the Albini cardigan by Olan. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that. Name will be here, and it's just a beautiful, simple cardigan. Modifications, I would probably not, omit the slip in there's a little slip in the back, just because I have pretty broad hips and I don't like how it looks when it's, yeah, I'm just not gonna do it in the ribbing. But the rest, I really love the neckline up here. Put a picture, and it has a beautiful neckline, and it's just a simple cardigan, and I've been wanting to make something simple, and I think I will make it out of this beautiful yarn. So I said I would talk about it in my other podcast episode, and now it's the time. This yarn is a yarn that I got from Ruth from Rain, Cloud and Sage, as you can see here. It's their newest yarn. So if you don't know their story, they are spinning up, having yarn spun from sheep that they saw outside where they live, and they talked to the shepherds and farmers and found out that this yarn is not being used for anything or being burned or just being thrown out afterwards. So they tried to figure out if they could have it spun up, and they've been doing that for I don't know how long, a couple of years maybe. But you can read the story on the website or on Instagram. Go and follow them. She has a beautiful Instagram account. But this is the newest one, and this is some 100% merino, German merino. It's woolen spun, it's a 3-ply, and it's 140 meters and just a little under 100 grams. And it's the cutest little, very compact skein. It's just adorable. Yeah, you can see the description. This one is called Homestead, and it comes also in this grayish, warm gray color. It has brown undertones. I think it's so beautiful, and also in a creamy white. But I'm normally not the biggest fan of creamy whites. I don't know, the yellowness in it, just I don't like it. I like this kind of white that you can see here, for example, which is more like a gray, cool white. But with the natural, I love the brown and yellows, but just I prefer it to be more subtle, like less yellow. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I love this yarn. She sent me 2 skeins to try out, to test, and not that I didn't expect to love it, but the pictures you cannot get the sense of this mousy brown undertone, and I just think it's so perfect, and it's just very squishy. It is soft. It's not soft to the touch, silky soft, but it has this soft woolen bouncy touch, and I think it's amazing. And so the idea is, she said I could do what I want, but I think I will give this one away, or this one of them, in a knit along for this shawl that I'm running at the moment. This is my Hyllebær shawl, and I think I will give one away. And then what I will do is I will purchase a sweater's quantity of this, because and that might be the Albini. I originally wanted to design something, but again, because of time and stuff, I think I will try to knit more other people's patterns. But yeah, so this one will be in the giveaway, and I will get some more for, I think, the Albini. I just have to check gauge, because I didn't check at all if they are compatible. And if not, maybe some other simple cardigan design. But I think the Albini would be beautiful in this one. And what was I thinking? Oh no, it's gone. I really love cardigans, by the way. I'm wearing a cardigan now, and that way I don't have the overheating problem so much. And if I wear sweaters, I hate taking them off. And for breastfeeding, cardigans are nice, and yeah, anything with buttons is great. But I'm looking so much forward to try to knit something up in this. Yeah, originally I wanted to knit a scarf for my dad, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna keep this for myself. So Ruth, beautiful yarn. I'm very happy that you gave me the opportunity to try it out, and I'm definitely gonna get some more. So that's the plan for number 9. Beautiful Albini cardigan. And that's it. To finish off my Make 9, I wanted to talk a little bit about color palette, because I think that's also very important. And when I looked at my Make 9, it was mainly grays and browns and stuff, and I have to admit I really like those colors. I like the natural colors. As you can see, if you look at my designs from last year, I have a lot of tweed and natural colors, and like this one, the used wool. I have the burned autumn leaf kind of color, cinnamon colors. I've been doing a lot of those, especially in together with the gray. I really love that color combination. It's a color I come back to every fall, but I also love it pretty much all year. But it just seems those are the colors. I've been working with the deep greens that I love, and that will come back next year, I'm pretty sure. And also I have been loving the more mauvey pinks, a little bit, and I think I will be working more with those in the next year. I tried to gather some yarns that I think I will be working with. Oh, and purples. So like the Aim True hat, I really like a good purple, more like a dark purple or the mauvey kind of purple. But generally I really like purples, a color that I haven't, yes, I've been working with it, but I never finished the project. It's the for my daffodil cardigan, if you remember that one. It's still almost done, but it's hibernating quite badly because I kept having some issues with the eyelets on the both sides of the cardigan. But for that one I used a aubergine color, and I really love an aubergine. So I think for the next year, what I really want to work with of colors, I will keep having neutrals and grays and warm grays like this one. And as I showed you, the Baramu Dove Stone in this weird purple brown gray color that I think it's so great. I have some other yarns that I know I want to work with. One of those is this skein from Pearl Soho that my friend brought back for me. It's the colorway is called Peach Stone, and it is their linen quill, so it's a linen mix. I mean, it's alpaca, 50% Highland wool, 35% alpaca, 15% linen. If you look closely, you can see it has this pink, it's not showing up too well, it has like a pink, purple, mild effect, very neutral, but still with a lot of colors in there. This again is one of those muted pink, I don't know if I should even call it pink, but yeah, it's very beautiful. It's a little bit in the same family as the Uyo, just because it has this gray base. And I also showed in my last podcast I'm working with this yarn from Moel yarn, which is a eucalyptus dyed yarn, and it has, I don't know if it says anywhere what the other color is, but it has, you can better see in the one that I kicked, wound up really badly, has pink specks all throughout, and it's just this beautiful, cool, almost icy blue purple, gray, purple, blue with the pink. And I like these colors that are understated, like purpley pink, but not in your face. So I have, as you can kind of maybe get the idea which colors I'm a little bit drawn to at the moment, these warm to cool with a natural background but some color to it. I will be working with that kind of color palette in the new year. That's definitely my plan. So for my Make 9, of course you cannot see the colors that I'm planning, but I tried to show you as well as I could. And I am also planning a design with this yarn that I brought in Lisbon last year, and it's the beautiful Beiroa yarn that I got a sweater's quantity of last November, so not this November. Couldn't go this November, and I have it in, my plan is to use these two colors together, so mainly this one, which you can see is pretty much the kind of neutral but not yellowish, more like a gray brown kind of neutral, and this yarn is just absolute, I mean, it's just so delicious. And I have it in a green that I think would look very beautiful together, and I have some plans for this one already sketched up and ready to go. I don't know when I will work on it, but this is kind of the colorways I'm dreaming of. I love using a good green. I'm actually, for many years, green was one of my favorite colors, but I think green is very difficult to, yeah, it's a difficult color to get the way I want it. So I'm dreaming of, this yarn is beautiful, it has so much plant matter in there. I'm dreaming of using more of green, this deep green, and like the green I use for my Skovmærker, it's also a very beautiful green. that and these more peachy but muted pinks and purples will definitely creep in, I think, in my color palette for the next year, and maybe also some of this one. I think it will happen. I would love to know what colors you are dreaming of. I'm still dreaming of finding, yeah, that perfect aubergine. I think aubergine is such a beautiful color when done right, like this purple with an undertone of brown almost. But I'm dreaming of finding some, I would really like to find some hand-dyed non-superwash yarn in that color. Maybe even like something like this, but with this aubergine color would be so perfect. So that's one of my dreams, to find in the next year, and have a design in mind that maybe that would work with. And also I'm thinking, sorry, I just realized I should look in the camera. I am thinking of what other colors could get in there for the next year. I don't know, it will be interesting to see. I'm definitely gonna work with the same kind of natural color palette as I've been working with last year, I think, but maybe getting some more colors in there. I feel like there should be some change, so I would like to know what colors you really like and dream of working with for the next year. Not necessarily seasonal colors. I mean, this one will be for spring, summer, because it has this light, cool touch, and I think it's so soft, by the way. It's so beautiful. And I have an idea for this one as well. This one would be more like an autumn winter kind of combination, which is not my normal autumn combination, and this one as well would be beautiful, I think, for all year, because it's such a neutral color that could go well with anything, I think. So those are that's my color palette, I think, more or less, and I look really forward to playing with those. So now the only thing to do is cross my fingers that I will have some knitting time for the next year, and I will actually get to work with all these beautiful yarns and colors. But I hope you can find some inspiration in this that I just showed you, and I would love to hear yours, as I just said. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry for knitting as Fiber Tales, and I would love to stay in touch. And please tag me if you do any of my designs, or anything that has to do with me, or just if you see something that you think I would love, feel free to tag me, and I love to follow along on the different projects. Yes, I will talk to you, I don't know if soon, because this probably will be the last video from me in a while, unless, surprise, I am really bored in a few weeks and waiting for baby, then maybe there will be another video. But just the editing and uploading is always the issue. So yeah, I hope you're all well. I hope you enjoyed this